Fossil Footprints, the fascinating story behind the longest known prehistoric journey. This is by Matthew Robert Bennett, Professor of Environmental and Geographic Science, Bournemouth University, and Sally Christine Reynolds, Principal Academic in Hominin Paleoecology, Bournemouth University, on the conversation. Every parent knows the feeling. Your child is crying and wants to go home. You pick them up to comfort them and move faster. Your arm is tired with a long walk ahead, but you can't stop now. Now add to this a slick mud surface and a range of hungry predators around you. That is the story the longest trackway of fossil footprints in the world tells us. Our new discovery, published in Quaternary Science Reviews, comes from White Sands National Park in New Mexico, the United States, and was made by an international team working in collaboration with staff from the National Park Service. The footprints were spotted in a dried-up lake bed known as a playa, which contains literally hundreds of thousands of footprints dating from the end of the last ice age, about 11,550 years ago, to sometime before 13,000 years ago. And again, this 13,000 year age is concerning the last mini ice age and the Clovis comet, the Younger Dryas period, the end of the Clovis culture, the megafauna and the megaflora, the mammoths and things, the woolly mammoths. And that comet supposedly broke up into many pieces. Some of them were miles long. Now, unlike many other known footprint trackways, this one is remarkable for its length, over at least 1.5 kilometers, and its straightness. This individual did not deviate from their course. But what is even more remarkable is that they followed their own trackway home again a few hours later. Each track tells a story. A slip here, a stretch there, to avoid a puddle. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. The ground was wet and slick with mud, and they were walking at speed, which could have been exhausting. We estimate that they were walking at over 1.7 meters a second. A comfortable walking speed is about 1.2 to 1.5 meters a second on a flat, dry surface. The tracks are quite small and were most likely made by a woman or possibly an adolescent male. The mysterious journey. At several places on the outward journey, there are a series of small child tracks made as the carrier set the child down, perhaps to adjust him from hip to hip or for a moment of rest. Judging by the size of the child tracks, they were made by a toddler, maybe around 2 years old or slightly younger. The child was carried outward, but not on the return. We can see the evidence of the carry in the shape of the tracks. They are broader due to the load, more varied in morphology, often with a characteristic banana shape, something that is caused by outward rotation of the feet. The tracks of the homeward journey are less varied in shape and have a narrower form. We might even go as far as to tentatively suggest that the surface had probably dried a little between the two journeys. Dangerous predators. The playa was home to many extinct Ice Age animals, perhaps hunted to extinction by humans, perhaps not. Tracks of these animals help determine the age of the trackway. We found the tracks of mammoths, giant sloths, saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, bison, and even camels. We have produced footprint evidence in the past of how these animals may have been hunted. What's more, research yet to be published tells of children playing in puddles formed in giant sloth tracks, jumping between mammoth tracks, and of hunting and butchery. Between the outward and return journeys, a sloth and a mammoth crossed the outward trackway. The footprints of the return journey, in turn, cross those animal tracks. The sloth tracks show awareness of the human passage. As the animal approached the trackway, it appears to have reared up on its hind legs to catch the scent, paused by turning and trampling the human tracks before dropping to all fours and making off. It was aware of the danger. In contrast, the mammoth tracks at one side made by a large bull crossed the human trackway without deviation, most likely not having noticed the humans. The trackway tells a remarkable story. What was this individual doing alone and with a child out on the playa, moving with haste? Clearly speaks to social organization. They knew their destination and were assured of a friendly reception. Was the child sick, or was it being returned to its mother? Did a rainstorm quickly come in catching a mother and child off guard? We have no way of knowing, and it's easy to give way to speculation for which we have little evidence. What we can say is that the woman is likely to have been uncomfortable on the hostile landscape, but was prepared to make the journey anyway. So next time you're rushing around in the supermarket with a tired child in your arms, remember that even prehistoric parents shared these emotions. This is On the Conversation. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.